Hello, and thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels Live Hospitality Talk Show. I got it right this time. So thank you so much for joining me. Let me get my comments going here just in case people want to make comments. Let me get my banners going so you know exactly what you're listening to and who the heck is this guy, right? And where am I? Okay, live from LA here. I think it's like 60 degrees today, right? It's kind of breezy. It was like in the 50s earlier when I was out walking. So you know what? It's just to me, it's a beautiful day. Okay, because I love the cooler weather. I get tired of the perfect stuff all the time. I'm sure as do most people, right? Yeah, right. Anyway, so once again, thank you so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels live talk show. We're going live too, and I just got a notification that there's something going on LinkedIn where I'm unable to connect with LinkedIn Live. That's at least that's what I've heard. I'm not on there, so if someone's can tell me, go to LinkedIn and let me know if I'm live to LinkedIn or not. They may have corrected it already. I don't know, but normally I'm on StreamYard, so what am I trying to say? It streams live to LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Okay, so most people probably look at me on Facebook Live, I think, but that's okay. Whatever, it doesn't matter where you look at me. Yeah, just look at me and listen. Does that even make sense? Don't look at me, just listen. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, let me fix something here because something is not right. Let's see. Oh, okay. There you go. Okay, yeah. Now we got it. Okay, so I have to have like three um computers, a laptop, a desktop, an iPad, and my phone. All those are right here next to me because I don't want to miss any. I don't want to miss anybody's comments. I don't want to miss anything. So thank you so much for joining us. Cousin Janie is on. Marsha is on. So good afternoon to everyone that's listening or that's watching. Connecting people and collaboration. That's what we're all about. On Air with Russell of Hotels live radio show. That's what I do. My company's called Russell of Hotels. So what I do is just basically try to connect people and collaborate wherever I can, if that's through social media, if that's, helping people with their properties or whatever the heck it is, or just answering some questions or giving references, whatever. That's what I do. So whatever it takes, that's what I do. I give references only if I know the people, right? And I don't just give random references. But anyway, that's another story. So we'll talk about it in a minute. But we're all about hospitality unplugged. Hashtag hospitality unplugged. Today is Tuesday, March 9th, show number 98. Countdown to 100. What the heck am I going to do on number 100? I don't know. I got two shows to go and I still don't know. Well, actually one show after this one, right? So I don't know, but I'll figure it out. But hey, happy International Women's Day. I appreciate everything that women do. I mean, within my family and friends and colleagues and things like that. So that's always great to celebrate that. I don't think we do that enough. And definitely on this show, we're gonna celebrate that. Okay, so there you go. So happy International Women's Day. Did I say that right? Disruptor of the status quo. That's what I do. So I talk about stuff that normal people don't even talk about. People outside the space may not want to discuss or whatever, but we're going to talk about that. Like I said, we're going to talk about International Women's Day. So thank you so much for doing what you guys do. A lot of shows don't do that, right? They want to stay away from certain things. I don't know why you want to stay away from that, but anyway, or you know, diversity dialogues and things like that. Some people don't want to talk about that, but that's okay. But that's guess what? We're gonna talk about it because that's what I'm all about. So, industry news. I'm trying to get close. Let me get out of that and get to the industry news. Thank you to Miss Davon Reeves. She is like the CEO of the Vaughn Group. Okay, so she was a lady last week that I mentioned. In fact, I led off the show by congratulating this lady and her business partner for opening up a hotel, or actually purchasing a hotel from Hilton for I want to say it was $8 million or whatever. So I actually had a conversation with her today, this morning. She was so gracious with her time. And I mean, I got a lot of good information. I have page of notes that I went over because I had some specific questions about, funding, buying a hotel, purchasing a hotel. Because, I've operated a hotel, but I've never purchased a hotel. And people are starting to come to me, not, droves of people, but every now and then people, they know what I do or know what my background. And they say, hey, how do you buy a hotel? What do you have to look for? What do you do? What do you do? How do you get funding and all this kind of stuff? So I asked all those questions. She answered those questions for me. In fact, she's going to send me a guide that she's putting together about hotel ownership, how to buy one, how to purchase one, what to look out for, all this kind of stuff. So I'm like, I mean, this is great. I'm glad I actually called her, and I got this information from my good friend Victor Simmons, who's VP of Ace Hotels, and for the what is he? VP of HR, diversity and inclusion. So he actually met her a while back, and he had mentioned her to me, but I didn't connect the two, right? Because we were in Clubhouse, and I'm gonna talk about Clubhouse in a minute. We were in Clubhouse in a chat room, and it had to do with, I don't know if it had to do with development, hotel development, or something like that. Well, she was actually speaking, and then after the chat room was over, I contacted Victor and we talked directly, and he said, "That's the girl I was telling you about. The one that owns this hotel and blah blah blah." I said, "I didn't know. I didn't connect the two," and I told her that story too, and she kind of got a kick out of it too. So, but thank you so much, Davon Reeves, for all that you did, just the time you gave me. I mean, it's about 15-20 minutes, but it was invaluable. So I really thank you for that. And yes, we'll definitely keep in touch. And I look forward to getting that information that you said you would send to me. And if you don't send it to me, guess what? I'm gonna follow up and I'll be calling you. And but it was good to chat with her. So there you go. Hey, following up on that situation last week, I had the conversation with the guy. Right now, let me give you some background information on what I'm talking about. So last week, or it was like, yeah, it was last week, I mentioned that there's this guy, good friend, family friend, like a son to me, that kind of thing, was traveling in North Carolina, and he left the hotel and came back, and when he came back, the hotel was closed, meaning boarded up, chained up, throw away the key, that kind of thing. He couldn't get back in to get his stuff, could not access his room to remove his belongings, his luggage and all that stuff. Well, I'm finding out that he'd already stayed there the night, right? Well, he was actually leaving to the airport. So he was checking out that day anyway, but he still needed his stuff, right? So he went to lunch and came back, and the hotel had closed and no one was there's no gatekeeper, there was no one around to say, hey, I understand you left your stuff here. No phone call, no email, nothing. So I was more pissed off than he was. He said, well, he was kind of, I don't know, trying to trying to console me because I was ticked off. you know so I don't know, but he said he would stay at the same brand again. I said, well, that's fine. I mean, that's good that you can get over that, but but I need to know why this stuff happened. I mean, how can this happen in this day and age that we know what's going on? I mean, hotels closed, and found out the hotel won't reopen until May. Okay, well, did they not send letters out to guests? They did not. They didn't put anything under the door because normally that's what they do. If you're walking by, the lobby or front desk or going to the exit door or whatever, that no one told him that, hey, just by the way, you may want to take your stuff with you because we're about to close up shop. No one said anything like that. So I'm still ticked off about that. And so, I'm just, but he was okay. I mean, he's okay now, but he wasn't okay when he was talking to me on the phone, but he's okay now because, he's back in town now. He got his stuff. Because he did follow my instructions, said go to the hotel that's same brand right next door if there's one in the area. So he did that, and he was able, and they knew what was going on, right? It's funny how your sister property or brother property knows, but they're not telling the guest. Okay, the guest is what paying their salary, not each other. Okay, so why would you not tell the guest that this is happening? But anyway, it did happen. He was able to retrieve his stuff. The chief engineer had to come over and unlatch the door in order for him to go to his room and get his stuff and then get out. He did make his plane on time. So, but he said he's okay. And he said he's actually traveling to Texas this week. And and he's staying at another Marriott property. I said, that's fine. I mean, hey, I got good things about Marriott, but when there's something, when a hiccup goes on, I have to talk about it. We have to not necessarily put them on blast, but make people aware of what could happen, right? Because that's what it's about, right? It's about, I try to share trends, things that are happening within the hotel space. So there you go. Like I said, I was not happy, but he seemed okay with it. So we'll just move on. I said, did you call corporate? Because let's get on the horn with them. But no, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. So we're good now. We're moving forward, right? So, and like I said, he had a good attitude about it. So there you go. MPI Southern California chapter. Dialogue and diversity, or diversity dialogue, a conversation on inclusion. This is I think they're doing a Zoom training or Zoom call regarding this Zoom presentation. There you go. And that's March 24th at 11 a.m. Just go to mpiscc.org in order to sign up and to pay your money, because I'm sure it costs money, right? So, like I said, this is stuff that I get emails on, and I just want to share with you to see what's going on. I mean, anyone can listen to this. Anyone, just all you got to do is pay and get on the list, and they will send you the link. So MPI Southern California chapter, diversity dialogue, a conversation on inclusion. So check that out. MPI, just go mpiscc.org for more information. And not to be undone, so I got a HSMAI Los Angeles chapter Zoom webinar on how to cold call and build customers. I guess is this the new wave of how to do this? Post COVID, how to do this? I don't know, but I'm gonna be on both of these. I want to listen to both of these just to see is there anything new with cold calling? Because no one. First of all, no one likes the cold call. Who likes the cold call? I don't. Hey, Dennis Butler, how are you? Jim Schickler, what's going on? Let me see. Hold on. See, when you have comments, you have to take away from. I have to stop and just look at the comments, because I don't want to miss anything, because I've been missing stuff, and that wasn't good. So I don't want to miss anything else. Hey, Russell, good show. I think you should do a highlight reel of the heat, all the heat moments in the first 100. That seems like a lot of work, Jim. That seemed like a lot of work. Okay, well, we'll see. I have to be my own producer to do that. So that's a good idea, though. That is a good idea. So I got to get started on that after this show, then, because it's going to take me that long to do it. But I appreciate that. So we're just talking about Jim Schickter, who was my former CEO of Broughton Hotels. And in fact, Jim twisted my arm to be a GM. Okay, that's he's the reason why I got the experience being a GM. It wasn't because I wanted to do it; it's because he wanted me to do it. So, but I thank him for that opportunity. But we're talking about. I was just talking about my 100th show is coming up, because today is number 98, and what would I do for the 100th show? And he came up with a suggestion. So, am I going to take it? I don't know. We'll think about it. But HSMIA Los Angeles chapter Zoom webinar on how to cold call and build new customers, March 17th at 11 a.m. So just go HSMAI, I believe is .org. I'm not sure, or just Google HSMAI Los Angeles chapter, and I'm sure that gets you to the website, and you can sign up for that as well. Because I am curious on how we cold calling these days, or are we cold calling? How are we building new customers? Because I always say we can't sell the same way that we've been selling, okay? Because this whole COVID thing has got everybody, got their panties in a bunch, so to speak. So how do we sell to these people, to these new, and that could be the same people, right? But how do we sell to them? I don't know. So we're gonna have to see. So hey, Deirdre Burnett, how are you? Who's Deirdre Burnett? That's a Sorrow. That's a Sorrow of my sisters, right? I believe that's who it is. But hey, Sorrow. But anyway, let me let me move on before I get caught up in some stuff. Clubhouse. Now, I'm not paid by Clubhouse to say this stuff, okay? But I'm gonna say it anyway. I think this is a great app to get on. It's a social media thing, because everybody, well, I'm trying to stay away from social media. Well, okay, we'll do that, but when something is I think something is good. This is good, right? Because it allows you the opportunity to learn from other people for free. Okay, so you get experts that have their own chat rooms, or you can be the expert. I mean, I can have my own chat room. They've actually changed the features where it's easier to get your own chat room now. So you can actually talk about, I can talk about the same things I talk about on this show, right? And I can, gain an audience that way as well. So what it's done for me, and I'll just, be personal here, it's helped me build my brand even more, right? So I go on to Clubhouse. I go in these rooms, and there's a lot of hospitality related rooms. So hospitality is like the one of the biggest growth. I mean, it's been growing like crazy. The hospitality chat rooms started off with maybe one. Now, I mean, it can be over 10 now, right? So you can revenue management, sales, marketing, social media. I mean, all this kind of stuff, all devoted to people in hospitality. And you get ideas from people all over the world, not just people in LA or United States, people all over the world that you don't think they have the same issues that we do. Like, they talk about RevPAR too. They have star reports. They have hoteligence. Some things that you knew that we, people within your comp set had them. People within the United States. But did you think that COVID was affecting people? Maybe it's affecting them a lot more. Like, I think I was on a call with this, or listening to a chat room, someone from Scotland, and they're so in the dark about what the government is going to do because of COVID. They're still shut down. So we complain that, oh, we got to wear masks. These people are still shut down and don't even know when they're going to come out of this, right? So people, just if you think you got issues, there's always someone that's doing a lot worse than you are. Okay, and that was one thing I found out on this Clubhouse a couple of days, or today's Tuesday. Maybe it was yesterday, or could have been over the weekend because I actually listened to it over the weekend. So Clubhouse is all audio. All you see is a picture or an avatar of a person, more likely a picture. You get to put a profile of who you are and things like that, and it links to what do you call it, Instagram and Twitter. Okay, because you can't make comments back and forth on on Clubhouse. You have to go to you have to DM them on Instagram or on Twitter in order to let them know, okay, just send me a DM about this later and we'll talk about it later, right? So if you want to send like messages, you have to DM these people. So but it's the what am I trying to say, the conversations, the people that are involved in some of these conversations are great. They're phenomenal, and I've learned a lot. Like I said, I've learned a lot, and you get to actually go on stage. It's all virtual, right? They invite you up, you raise your hand, you go up on stage because there's moderators and then there's people that are listening, right? So and they can be up to, I think that you can do up to like 5,000 people in one chat room, right? But the hospitality ones are, yeah, I mean, there's been 100 people easily in some of these that I go in. And then sometimes if there's a topic you want to, give your opinion on, you raise your hand, they invite you up on stage, goes in order for, whoever was on stage first. And then you get to ask your question, and you first of all you get to introduce who you are, so you get your brand out there. I'm Russell Edmond. I'm consultant, and I'm my company's called Russell of Hotels. I have a radio show called On Air with Russell of Hotels. It's airs live on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. PST. They're like, oh my god. And then all of a sudden I've gotten so many requests to connect on Instagram and LinkedIn. I mean, more than I ever had with anything else, or doing it on my own, right? Trying to grow organically. Well, if you want to grow organically, go on Clubhouse. I guarantee you, I've grown, I'm gonna say at least 100 in the last week, 100 new connections. And these are not just connections, but these connections that, that they've been vetted because you've heard these people talk. You know what I mean? Although there's some people that can talk a good game, right? Kind of things like that. But stay out of those rooms, right? But most of the hospitality people, and you can tell if this is legit because they're talking the same language that you're speaking. If they're talking another language, they're using things that we don't normally use in the hospitality space, then they're not legit, right? So it doesn't matter, RevPAR, they talk sales and marketing, they talk all this stuff. It doesn't matter if it's here in the States or if it's in Europe. they talk the same thing. There's this one gentleman that was in Turks and Caicos. He had two hotels that he represents. He's like the, what do you call him? I don't know, executive director or something. I can't remember the position, but he had some issues with he's getting too much OTA business, which is online travel agent business. Isn't that the same thing we're having here? Are we getting too much OTA business? So people chimed in and was giving him like a roadmap to what he could do. I mean, where do you get that from? Who's going to call you and tell you all that stuff and not be paid for it? I mean, they're just giving information. They say you can do this, you can do that. They gave examples. I chimed in and said a couple things, but it's just information that you can get to people in real time. It's just like a podcast, but it's real time podcast where you actually can ask questions. So for hospitality people, I think you need to be on there. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, I'm not being paid by. I probably should be now that I think about it, but I'm not being paid by Clubhouse to say that. Did you mention it's iPhone? Oh, that's right. Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Marsha just reminded me that to get onto podcast, to get onto Clubhouse, you have to have an iPhone. It's still in the beta stages, right? But you still have to have an iPhone, and you have to be invited. I have a couple invitations. So if you have, and I mentioned this last week, if someone wants an invitation, I think I have maybe about 3 left. Just DM me, okay? Or just send me a message. You can send me a message here, but I need your phone number because it goes to your cell phone. Okay, so if you want to do send it to my email, russell@russellofhotels.com. Just send me that and it says, hey, can you get me on Clubhouse? Just make sure you put your phone number on there and I'll do it for you. But hospitality people, you need to do it. Okay, I'm just letting you know. And okay, Deirdre is your so hey Sorrow, hey girl. But okay, Clubhouse. Okay, I talked about Clubhouse. So, but who needs to be on Clubhouse? Okay, we need more meeting professionals like meeting planners. We need DMOs. I saw Junior with Anaheim, Visit Anaheim on there. He kind of popped into a room yesterday. But they need their own page. They need their own Clubhouse room to start talking about things. So DMOs, CVBs, tourism boards, that's what's missing right now. So there's a lot of hospitality, but not specifically for DMOs, CVBs, tourism boards. Okay, I mean everybody can get into them, but you can make them private where only people you invite can get in there. Okay, you can do that, right? So, but I think it's good. I think it's a good thing. There's a lot of hype around that, but I think it's warranted. So I would get on there if I were you. That's just what I'm saying. But like I said, they're not paying me, but I just think it's a good tool to use to get information, especially during this whole COVID thing where everyone is trying to get out of this hole that everyone else is in, right? So there's this one, I just leave it at this one, where it says, how do you restart your marketing after COVID? How do you restart your marketing? Because people are thinking, well, do I reopen the OTAs? How do I get more direct bookings? Questions like that, questions that we all think about, right? So, and people are giving information. So there you go. But you didn't hear from me though, right? No. Remember, if you get on Clubhouse, you heard it from On Air with Russell of Hotels. And don't be afraid to say that, okay? Use that. That may get you get you further, and whatever you want to do. So, okay. What would prevent you from traveling in 2021? I ask this every week. What's going to stop you? Are we getting vaccinated? I get my second vaccination on Friday, this coming Friday. So of course I'm going to videotape it, right? So I go live with it. But yeah, so I get that on Friday at 9:10 in the morning. So, and then they say, I just got I'm sure everybody heard the news. The CDC says, if you've been vaccinated, you don't need a mask. Okay, well, guess what? I'm wearing a mask too. So maybe 2, but yeah. So look at your CDC guidelines for anything that's specific to you. But I'm getting the shot. It's your choice. I understand that everybody has a choice, but My choice is to get it, and I will be getting it, and I'm going to start traveling. Okay, so there you go. I'll be on the next thing smoking outside of LA after Friday. So I think Friday night I got a flight out. So that was a joke. Anyway, who's hiring? Before I get into the who's hiring thing, I just saw this and thank you, Natalie Finzi or Natalie Gibson, excuse me. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Eric. I didn't mean to say that. Natalie and Eric Gibson, they listen to the show all the time and they look forward to the show coming up. And in fact, I had a conversation with them this morning, and Natalie actually, because I said, well, what am I going to talk about? I always have a topic, and she goes, well, why don't you talk about, and she sent me this whole long thing about how when you're looking for a job, hiring managers or whatever are looking for different things now. They're looking for pictures and all this kind of stuff. Well, I kind of read through this. I mean, it was a lot of read, and I said I haven't read like this in 20 something years since I was in freaking Cal Poly. But anyway, I did read some of it, and I just a couple things I got out of it, but I'm going to give you the name where you can look this up yourself. So basically, it has to do with LinkedIn. Okay, let's just start with LinkedIn. You guys know how big a proponent I am about LinkedIn, and they don't pay me either. Okay. But let's up your LinkedIn game. So if you're looking for a job, you got to up your LinkedIn game, which means, the picture that's maybe you had for like 5 years ago, update your picture, your headshot. Make sure you update that, right? Make sure you update your profile. Okay. So get a shot that's just with a nice background, but not like the background I have. Don't take a picture with like the background I have or whatever. Just try to get just you in the picture, because people are judging now, right? So before, when resumes, you never send your picture on a resume, right? Did you ever do that? No. In fact, that was frowned against. Who wants to see what you look like? Well, now because of social media and what's going on with social media, now you have to, because you got to put your brand out there, right? I mean, that's why I went from doing a podcast where you didn't see me to a show where you do see me, right? I mean, that's basically it, because live video goes a lot further than anything. Well, it's not going to be live on LinkedIn, but I'm just saying the social media has changed trends and how we do things. It changed how we get jobs. It changed how we keep jobs, right? And it changed, just the whole landscape of a lot of different things. So when you're, branding yourself and all that stuff. So everything has changed. So the lady who put this out on LinkedIn, her name is Suzanne McIntosh. Her company is Macintosh Human Capital Management. So you can look at Suzanne McIntosh, and that's McIntosh. Okay, she's on LinkedIn. I'm gonna post this on my blog at russellofhotels.com. But if you can't wait for me to post it, I understand, because I haven't posted it yet. But you can feel free to go to her page, connect with her, and you can read that. But bottom line, I just took down two things, the first two things that she said. Update your headshot, make sure it's professional with an eye-catching background. Specifically, no brand logos in the background, no groups of people in the background. You can't be at a trade show or personal images. Like I have pictures in the back of, the kids and all that stuff. You don't need all that. Okay. Just professional, dress, attire, you look good. No, nothing in the background. No, things that are going to take away from your photo. And then two, a succinct and concise tagline under your photo with a snapshot of your experience, i.e., I'm a senior group sales manager with 5 years of experience in lifestyle hotels. Boom. That's it, right? Because LinkedIn is your resume now, right? It's your electronic or digital resume. Okay. So if you didn't think of it like that, well, think of it like that now. So if you don't have a LinkedIn page or LinkedIn profile, guess what? You need to get one. In order for you to get a job, you need to do LinkedIn. Okay, so people are like, "Well, I don't want to do LinkedIn. That's social media. They're gonna know too much information." Oh, okay, you want a job or not? Okay, so look at my LinkedIn page. I mean, I share everything in the world with people. And guess what? Yesterday I was on another Zoom. I'm not a Zoom, a Clubhouse, and they use my LinkedIn page as an example. Like, oh my God, look at Russell's page. Oh, he has all this information on there. Blah blah blah. He helps out hotels and all that kind of stuff. They didn't know who I was. They didn't know who I was talking to. But this, I guess, gives you some credibility, give you some street cred, if you will. Okay, because I can be on there talking about anything, right? But until they go to your social media and see what your brand is or look at your website, they don't know who the heck you are, right? They're just some dude talking, some random guy talking. But once they see that, okay, he does do this, he is who he say he is, right? So he's doing what he say he does. Okay, because you're only as good as your word and you're only good as your brand. That's how I look at it, right? So I want to make sure that people know what I do, because guess what? That's going to lead to some opportunities for me. That's going to lead to, contract work or jobs or whatever the heck it is. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? I'm not doing it just because I like being on this radio show. I mean, I do love that, but it's because I'm trying to build my brand. So whatever you need to do to build your brand, do it and make sure it's positive and things like that. You have a hotel entertainment question. What does that mean? Now we're asking questions, right? Okay. All right. Let's go with it. Go ahead, Deidre Burnett. What's your question? While I take a drink of water. And can you hurry up? Because I do have a show to do. So until while he's formulating a question, I'll move forward. And who's hiring? Okay, so now I got back past the Suzanne McIntosh's information. So just make sure you go to her LinkedIn page and find that information out, because it's great information. It was a great read too. So I do appreciate that. And I'm gonna put that stuff on my blog. Of course, I have to, make sure we know that where it came from, because I didn't come up with it, but she did. Okay, there's a question here. I manage artists. What is the best way to get them linked to perform in a lounge? You want to do it? I guess they want to perform in a hotel lounge. Um, that's up there. Well, you have to ask me this offline. I can give you some information, but is this during COVID you're doing this? Because remember, if you're in California, they still have not allowed that you can't allow more than, I want to say, 100 people in a room. So you want to make sure you follow your CDC guidelines. But normally, pre-COVID, if you wanted to do that, that would go through the sales office, director of sales and marketing, and they would. I mean, if this is a whole performance, it's like a mini concert. How many people? I mean, there's a lot of things. Do they have outside venues that they can do this? I mean, that may be something during this whole COVID thing. Maybe they want to do something outside. Maybe they have a huge patio, or maybe a rooftop that's large enough to have a few people up there. It's like, is it like a what do they call it, an album release party, things like that. I've been in hotels where they did things like that as well, and they came through my department, the sales department, and we're able to do that. And we did it in the ballroom, we did it outside. It's for after COVID. Okay. So yeah, I mean, the information I just gave you would be good, but I mean, if that's a question that we can go into this a little more. Just you have my number, I believe, and just give me a call. If you don't have my number, go. Yes, we can talk offline. Thank you so much. See, that's what it's all about. That's what On Air with Russell of Hotels is all about. Taking live questions and give them answers. And if I can't answer it all, if you have more questions, we'll take this offline. That's what it's all about, right? It's information. So, and that's what I do. That's what I'm all about. So thank you so much for the question, Deidre. I appreciate that. Who's hiring? Hotel Lulu. I never even heard of Hotel Lulu, but they're hiring. No, it's a hotel in Anaheim. They're looking for a GM. They're looking for actually two positions, but I'll do the GM first. They're looking for a general manager, minimum 6 years hotel experience, including 2 years in a similar capacity. So they're looking for 6 years hotel experience, and then plus you need to have 2 years of being a GM. Okay, that's how I read it, right? So Hotel Lulu, and I believe Hotel Lulu is on. It was something else before, but is it on Harbor? It's on a major street next to Disneyland, down the street from Disneyland. So, and they're also looking for a director of sales and marketing. And now Hotel Lulu is a 308 guest room hotel, about 6,000 square feet of meeting space, and it's part of the Best Western Premier Collection. Okay, so and they've redone this. I've seen the pictures online now. I assume that it still looks like that, but it seemed like a very nice property, and it's managed by Azul Hospitality Group. So if you're interested in DOSM, Director of Sales and Marketing, or a general manager position at the Hotel Lulu, go to Indeed.com. That's where I got it from. And just as a reminder, I only post positions that are no more than a week out, meaning they've been posted for a week, right? 5, maybe 6 days at the most. Okay, because once it's like 2 weeks and all that stuff, no, it's probably a million people trying to get those jobs. But make sure before you apply to these jobs, update your LinkedIn page. That's why I did that before I even talked about the positions that were open. So just make sure we do that. Okay. What else? Director of Front Office Operations at the Sheraton Los Angeles San Gabriel. I love that hotel. I know what that hotel is. It's very nice. It's only maybe a couple years old too. So it's 288 guest rooms. That one's on H Careers. So once again, Director of Front Office Operations. So if you're interested in that, check it out on H Careers. It's the Sheraton Los Angeles / San Gabriel. It's actually in the San Gabriel Valley. It's actually in the city of San Gabriel, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a very nice property. I've been there before. Very automated. They have the robots that deliver things to your room, like towels and all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting. So I did a video on it. It's been, gosh, about 2 years ago now. Well, it has to be at least 2 years, right? It wasn't last year, so it has to be at least 2 years. Human resource manager, Weston Pasadena. They're looking for human resource manager. GM at the Best Western Sonoma Wine Growers Inn in Rohnert Park. And then an AGM, that means assistant general manager, at the London West Hollywood. London Hotel. That's a very nice hotel. That's I want to say that's got to be a 5-star hotel. The London. Love that hotel. All three of those positions are on H Careers. So check that out. What is your SSI number? I talk about this every week. Mine is 70 out of 100. Okay. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I get frustrated because my number goes up and down. But basically, SSI via LinkedIn, it basically measures your, let me just make sure I'm updating this so I'm not missing out on any questions. So basically, it so this via LinkedIn, and it measures the impact of your social selling efforts with LinkedIn. Did I say that? I don't know. And how effective you are at establishing your professional brand. So meaning, are you posting things on LinkedIn? I mean, all those things matter. Are you commenting on other people's posts? All those things matter. And when you post things, one thing I found out about LinkedIn, if you've been on LinkedIn and it says, like, you typed enough and it says click for more, like more or less kind of thing, like meaning you filled up this one screen and you click and it continues on whatever your comments were or whatever the content that you added. They want you to do that. That's part of the secret sauce of LinkedIn, right? So if you don't fill up enough content, it actually goes against you, meaning your rankings and all that kind of stuff. It goes against you. So you want to make sure you fill that up, not with hashtags, because just a reminder, on LinkedIn, the maximum amount of hashtags that I guess help you are 3. Any hashtags over 3 will go against your ranking. And that's something that LinkedIn is a beast, right? But you have to know how the algorithms work. So that's the interesting thing. So am I an algorithm expert? No, but can I figure some stuff out? Yeah. And I listen to people on Clubhouse. They're the ones that told me. So what I did was I started using that tactic or whatever that they told me. And guess what? I get more engagement. And my number now is, like I said, staying at a consistent 70. So it must work, right? But they change their algorithms all the time. But that's the latest one. So make sure you're making your content goes to the next section, right? But don't fill it up with hashtags. Only limit it on LinkedIn to 3 hashtags. Okay. So there you go. Just a little tip. You didn't think you were going to learn anything today, did you? But just remember you heard that on air with Russell of Hotels. So anyway, so I got 70 out of 100. That's my score. And it based things on four categories: establishing your personal brand, finding the right people, engaging with insights, and building relationships, which, I'm off the chart with that. Is your hotel open, or did you go back to work? Did you create some FOMO? We always need to create FOMO for our brand, for our hotels, for wherever we work. We need to create FOMO. What's the best way to create FOMO? Social media. Okay. During this time when nobody was traveling, no one is going office to office, cold calling, trying to get new business. What's the best way to do it? Either through an email list, which, hotels, we gather all this information about our guests or our clients, but we don't utilize it because it ain't sexy enough or something. I don't know. I really don't understand why we don't, but we have all the information already. Start sending out newsletters. What's going on in your hotel? Hey, we just opened up. Hey, we're about to do a renovation, or we're ready to welcome you back. I mean, whatever the case is, you need to do that. So all this time that we've had to literally do nothing because we're running, 3 to 10% most of our hotels. So we need to, not most, but a lot of them. We need to do things right. We need to create newsletters. We need to send things out. How are you doing? We're here. These people are still working here, or whatever. You need to contact somebody. Contact me. Whatever the case is, we have to do that. And just because, like here in California, that we're kind of opening some things up, doesn't mean you have to eliminate that, because people are not just going to rush into the doors of your hotel. That's just not going to happen. Okay, so make sure you're doing that. This is just information I'm giving, right? I hopefully it resonates with people, and then they understand that they need to do it, because right now, and I talked about OTAs a little while ago. I don't have anything against OTAs. Okay, that's online travel agents like your Expedias, Hotels.com, on and on and on. That's who they are. Okay. And they have a job to do too, right? Their job is to market to you to book through them, because you think they've got in your mind that they brainwashed you to think that that's the best deal. That is not the best deal. The best deal is if you book direct to the hotel. Always book direct. Okay. So that's all I'm saying on that. Like I said, I don't have anything against the OTAs. I have a lot of good friends that work for OTAs. I have nothing against them. Some hotels, that's how they fill up their hotels, with OTAs. But OTAs cost the hotels more money, basically. I mean, the markup or the margin is like, what is it? It's more than what a travel agent is 10%, right? Theirs is like 15 to 20, 25%. It used to be 30, 35% back in the day. But hotels got smart and said, hey, we're not going to give you all that. But they have more marketing dollars. That's why you see them on TV advertising Expedia, or hotels.com. What's that guy's the character they have on there? I don't know, Captain something or whatever. But anyway, it's funny. I like the commercials, right? But they take away from hotels, and hotels are in a spot now that they can't be giving anything away, right? So they need to capitalize on the money and keep the money or the revenue that they're making for their hotel in order to operate, in order to continue to operate, right? So this is a great way. Newsletters and direct marketing via email addresses and social media. This is the time to do that in order to gain some customer loyalty. Customer loyalty is at an all-time low. Okay, just in case you did not know that. People are not loyal to any brands. Okay, so in order for you to at least get close to that, you need to do things on your own. You need to don't rely on all the third parties and everything. Like I said, I don't have anything against them, but I'm a hotel person, and I know what it takes to operate a hotel, and doing a lot of OTA business is not the way to go. They are needed though, don't get me wrong, but it's not 100% that we need to throw all those eggs in that basket. Whew, I'm done on that one. So create some FOMO. That's what it came down to. Use social media consistently to get your message out. Whatever your product or service is, stay relevant, and it should be a huge part of your marketing strategy. And if you need some help on that, let me know, because I'm all about keeping your hotel relevant. Okay. I post things. You can look at my LinkedIn page. You can look on um, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I post stuff all the time. Even if I'm not hired to do it, I do it anyway, because my job, I'm Russell Russell of hotels. I have to get out and see hotels, right? I'm not Russell of the office or Russell in my living room or Russell in my man cave. No, I have to get out. So I'm Russell of hotels, right? I have to get out and let you know what's going on, and showing you new hotels that are coming up. Like I did LAX, the Hyatt Place and Hyatt Place and Hyatt House. LAX, a new, no, it's not a new build, but it's well, yeah, it is a new build because it's a conversion. It's a office building that's converted to a hotel. It's going to have two Hyatt brands in one hotel, and it's on Century Boulevard. I posted that I guess last week. So, I mean, those are things that people want to know. Do you know how many, what do you call it? Views I got on that one thing? Because people are just hungry for good information, good content. Normally, and this is one thing I'm going to talk about as far as hashtags are concerned. So I posted this picture, and my normal picture, normal, sometimes I get 100, 200 people looking, viewing them. I posted that picture about a video about those two Hyatt properties that are going up. They don't open until next year sometime, right? I got like 1,500 to 2,500 views on that thing in like an hour. So it depends on the timing. When you post things, it depends on timing and the content, right? So there you go. Is there a secret sauce? Yeah, there's a secret sauce to it. But anyway, let's see what else. What is this? Non-meat eats. I've been on this mushroom kick lately. For the last 3 weeks, I've been on this mushroom kick. So I'll eat mushrooms everywhere, sauteed mushrooms, like Forrest Gump. Talk about shrimp. I eat mushrooms like that. I mean, sauteed, fried, battered. Um, I made mushroom and grits one day. Like people eat shrimp and grits. I eat mushroom and grits. Okay, those things are so good. They're so meaty, and I use different ones. Right, I use creminis, portobellos, shiitakes, oysters. They all have their own different taste, different texture. Some are skinny, some are small. Some of the portobellos are the bigger ones you can slice. And they're meaty and they're earthy and they're. I sound like Andrew Zimmer on what's the food show? That's what I sound like. But they're so good. So I've been on this whole, because you guys know, for people that don't know, I'm all about non-meat eats. I'm a foodie of non-meat eats, which means I'm 100% plant-based. I don't eat meat. I don't eat butter. I don't eat cheese unless it's vegan butter or vegan cheese. So, and I'm not into the plant. I'm not into the animal life. You know, not that I have anything about. Anyway, I'm not even gonna mention that. But I used to eat that stuff, but I just for my own personal reason, I stopped. Has nothing to do with. I'm not a part of PETA or anything like that. Although PETA has they have things they need to do too. So, but I'm not that extreme. But I don't eat meat at all. So there you go. So that's why I do mushrooms because they're so meaty. Hotels. Are you reinventing yourself? You can tell I'm on one today, right? Okay, hold on. Let me just make sure. Sharing is caring. Okay, thank you. Am I missing any other comments? No, I don't think so. So feel free to make comments because that's why I changed this platform so you can make comments. And I assume that LinkedIn is not working because I'm getting more things from YouTube than LinkedIn today and Facebook. So I think LinkedIn is not working today, but that's okay. Are you reinventing yourself? Are you swerving? Is there Okay, here's a question. If there's no business travel, that most hotels make their bread and butter comes from, business travel. Okay, well, business travel is not happening. So what are you doing to promote to the leisure market or the leisure traveler that, the drive market person, the person that drives maybe 2 hours? Oh, Debbie Vale from LinkedIn. So I am going live to LinkedIn. So thank you so much, Debbie Vale. Debbie Vale is with Visit Pasadena, right? So thank you so much. If you ever want anything in Pasadena, you need to go just ask for Debbie Vale and say, hey, Russell of Hotel sent me to see you. Okay. So anything in Pasadena, go see Debbie Vale. She's with the Debbie Vale CVB. No, I mean she's with the Pasadena CVB. Okay, Convention and Visitors Bureau. They're like the governing body for anything tourism in Pasadena. So even if you have the hotels that are in Pasadena, go to Debbie first, and she can introduce you to those hotels. Okay, so So I have nothing but love for Debbie. She knows that. In fact, Debbie used to be at that Sheraton in San Gabriel, right? But now she is at Pasadena CVB. So no, yeah, of course. Shout out to Pasadena. Anyone that I see, I'm giving them a shout out. So that's what the show's all about, right? So thank you so much, Debbie, and you're welcome. You don't have to thank me. I mean, it's my pleasure. Now if Debbie was not a nice person, I wouldn't be saying all this stuff. But no, Debbie's wonderful. So thank you so much, Debbie, for chiming in. Let me know that I am, yes, 2 years ago, right? Okay. Yeah, see, I know Debbie. So but yeah. In fact, you invited, was it you that invited me to lunch out there? Yeah, you invited me to lunch and a tour of your property, San Gabriel. That's right. Yes, you're right. That's right. So man, see, isn't it good to have connections or just remember people and still, because obviously I'm not a jerk out there, right? Because if I was, none of this stuff would be happening, right? So you make sure you put your brand out there the way you want people to receive your brand, okay? And I'm done with that one. So there you go. Okay, best way to predict the future is to invent it. So getting back to the leisure market. So make sure you're because that's what's going on. Because the leisure market will come back first. The people that are looking for weekend getaways or staycations and things like that. Yeah, I tried some non-meat eats at our hotel. That is right. Good memory. So, and it was very good. Thank you so much. And she knew that ahead of me going there, and she prepared. See, that's what it's all about. Hoteliers or CVV people that know they read, they do their research on you, so they know exactly what you're about. Because I didn't tell her that I was all about non-meat eats. She looked it up and saw it on my website, I believe. So see, that's what it's all about. So that separates just a salesperson from a outstanding salesperson, right? A sales professional. Okay, that separates just a salesperson from a sales professional. Okay, she's a sales professional because she knew that, right? So, and she created this experience for me that I'll never forget. So that's why, I mean, of course, I'm gonna give somebody a shout out at the Pasadena CVB because of how she made me feel. Because remember this, hospitality is about how someone made you feel. Okay, it's not about service or anything like that, because we get that service, we think that's service and hospitality are synonymous with each other. No, they're not. Okay, hospitality is how that person made you feel. Okay, so she made me feel good. So thank you so much. Appreciate that. Moving on. Moving on. So the best way to predict the future is to invent it. Contact information. God, I've been talking for like almost an hour. I only got 6 minutes left. But guess what? It's my own show. It's my own platform. So if I go a little over, it's okay. There you go. So that's why I do things myself. Contact information, Russell at russellofhotels.com. I'm on Twitter, I'm on IG, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Clubhouse, all at Russell of Hotels. Okay, so just remember that. So just look up Russell of Hotels and you'll find me there. I have a website, which is russellofhotels.com. What about sponsorships? If you're interested in sponsorship, promotion, you want to let people know that you just reopen, you want to create some FOMO, contact me and I'll do it for you. I'll create the FOMO for you. You can come on the show and talk, or you can do sponsorship or whatever. Your name or your company name could be scrolling at the bottom of there. Instead of saying live from Los Angeles, it can say live from the Pasadena CVB. It can say something like that. And I'm just using that as an example, but it can say anything like that. So feel free and go to my website and look under sponsorships, and it tells you exactly what's included in that. Okay, so, and you can always contact me, and then we can go forward with that. But we would love to have you. Theater cities, who listens to or who watches the show. I mean, we've gone global now, but just to say the domestic cities, LA, Orange County area, Chicago, San Francisco, New York, Atlanta, those are some of tech. It was Dallas. There's some people that watch there, but it's further than that. The reach is further than that. Now we're in South Africa. Now people in the UK are watching. People in Australia. People in New Zealand. Of course, people in Canada, Vancouver, Montreal, specifically. So thank you to all the people that watch and that have supported me over the last 98 shows or so. So I do appreciate that. Let's see. What is the Russell of Hotels Group? Well, branding, digital marketing, everything social media, right? So help you stay relevant. People forgotten about you because what happens is people only remember the last hotel or they only remember the last promotion or posting, right? You have to be consistent. You can't do things one time and think, oh, well, I did it once. Well, what do you mean once? I did it last month. No, 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 dude, no. You got to do it consistently. When I mean consistently, in order for me to build my brand, and this was a conversation that came up on Clubhouse the other day, and there's some people that post, 5 times a day. Okay, like on Instagram. Okay, you're posting just the regular Instagram. Then you're doing reels. Then you're doing stories. You know what I mean? Then you're doing a live. So that's 4 different things that you need to do to grow your brand. Okay. So, I mean, just think about that stuff. I mean, it takes time to do it. You can't do it overnight. I mean, I know people. I saw this thing on is it HBO or one of the premium channels the other night, and it had to do with they took 3 people and they bought fake followers on these social media outlet platforms like Instagram and whatever. I think Instagram was the main one. They bought fake followers, right? And some of them did well. There's one that did extremely well. She just blew up, right? But it's you can tell if people are fake when on their a lot of their Instagram stuff, right? Because if I have 1 million followers and I'm only getting 300 people that are responding, and that doesn't add up, right? So there are people that do that, and people become really successful doing that as well, right? But these days, because the algorithms are different, it's harder to do that. But people still buy followers and things like that. But I don't do that, and you can tell because that's why if you look at my LinkedIn, I mean not my LinkedIn. If you look at my Instagram, I don't have that many followers, so I can't buy the ones that I have because I don't have that many. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there. Collaboration, connecting people, and pointing people in the right direction. How is your professional brand or personal brand staying relevant? I just asked that, right? Knowing what you know now, is there anything that you would do differently? That's 2. Number 3, have you connected with anyone new lately? I connected with somebody new, or not new, but someone I hadn't talked to in 2 years. I talked to them this morning. His name was Patrick Martensic. Shout out to him. I he used to work for me about, I don't know, but God, 5, 6 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, when I was at the Wilshire Plaza Hotel, which is now the Line Hotel. Okay. If people are familiar with the Line Hotel because they redid it and everything. Well, I was there when they closed the doors of the previous hotel before the major renovation. Well, Patrick was with me during that time. I mean, he helped me out, and so it was good to talk to him this morning. So shout out to Patrick Martensic. So have you reached out to anyone new or just someone old that you haven't talked to in a while? Do that. What has this situation taught you? This whole COVID thing, what has it taught you? Hotels, are you selling differently? Are you marketing more or less? We got to sell differently now. People are not buying the same thing. People have more choices or whatever. And now we have less people to sell to them. Just remember that, right? So you got to be creative about what you're doing. If you weren't doing social media before and it's only you now and you had a team of 5 people and now it's only a team of 2, well, guess what? You need to do something differently. Why not embrace the social media thing? For some reason, our industry is always the last to do things. I don't know why that is, but we need to do more with social media. We need to embrace it because it's not going anywhere. So we need to do more. Okay. So, and the last thing I'm going to go over, see, I'm already at 2 o'clock, but that's okay. Well, I'm going to get this done. You don't have to worry about that. Topic has to do with hashtags. Now, specifically like Instagram. Okay. I talked about LinkedIn where, only three hashtags or it goes against your postings, right? But hashtags and social media postings, which ones are you using and why? I was looking at this hotel downtown. This is how I came up with this topic. I was looking at this hotel downtown, their Instagram page. What is a hashtag, first of all? Hashtags work by organizing and categorizing photos and video content. Every post you create can be accompanied by an Instagram caption and a few hashtags, up to 30. Okay, so we know LinkedIn is only three. Instagram, you need at least 30. Okay, you need at least 30. I mean, you can do less, but 30 is optimal. Okay, that's when you start to get more. What do you guys more? It spreads to more people or more coverage, if you will. So, or optimal is the optimal level. Okay, and these hashtags help in the process of content discovery. So if you're you put in hashtag Russell Edmond, that means you want to find things that Russell Edmond posts, right? So that's why you would do a hashtag Russell of Hotels. Hashtag Russell of Hotels. Okay, click on that, and everything Russell of Hotels posted will come up, or it should come up. That's how it's supposed to work. But anyway, I was looking at this one hotel, and they put a non-hotel related photo there, which is fine, right? It was a guy on a skateboard. Okay, it was a guy on a skateboard, but it had nothing referencing the hotel, meaning any of the hashtags had nothing to do with that hotel. And I'm gonna give you an example of what the hashtags were. The hashtags were hotel view, bespoke travel, best hotel, small hotel, where to stay, hotel style, uh, slow living. Those were the hashtags that were related or were next to this caption of someone on a skateboard. So I'm like, what does that have to do anything? So what I did was went and clicked on. There was 30 hashtags. Okay, I only gave you maybe seven. Okay, there's 30 of them. So I clicked on a couple of these just to see if they would go back to that hotel, if they had anything to do with that hotel. I scrolled like through, I don't know, several pages of postings. Nothing had to do with that particular hotel. So that's what I'm saying. We do all these hashtags, but they mean nothing. They go nowhere. So we have to make sure we're using the right hashtags, because if you're not using the right hashtags, it doesn't help you. So if hashtag, my butt is big, and then I clicked on butts or clicked on that, my butt is big, and it didn't have pictures of big butts, then why am I putting that hashtag there? I'm being silly. But I mean, that's you have to put things back to your hotel. So it's a picture of someone on a skateboard, but it had no reference at all to this was a downtown hotel. Okay. It didn't have hashtag DTLA hotel, didn't have hashtag hotel, didn't have hashtag travel. It was in LA. You should hashtag or copy Discover LA, because that's the tourism board in LA, or Discover LA or Discover DTLA or something like that. I mean, it could have been 100 different things that they could have done, but nothing went back to their hotel. Or they have this particular hotel has this great rooftop bar. You could have done hashtag DTLA rooftop bar. I mean, you could have done anything that would have gone back to that hotel, but they missed an opportunity there because it was a cool photo of someone on a skateboard, but it had nothing to do, the hashtags had nothing to do with the hotel. So just my advice, make sure you know what the hashtags mean. You need to test your hashtags first of all. And you can Google what's the best travel hashtags and it will tell you. Okay. So I mean, the work is there. I mean, someone's done the work already. We just need to take advantage of it and know where to find this stuff. But if we're not taking our time, then or doing things the right way, we're just trying to rush through things, or maybe these people aren't uh, apt to do it. You know what I mean? So you got to think about the message you're sending out. Because one thing, we get anyone to do our social media, right? But if we don't understand social media ourselves, then we don't know what they're doing, right, wrong, or indifferent. So, I mean, those are things that, I mean, I'm old school, right? But I'm new school when it comes to social media. Okay, because I need to stay on top of what's going on. What are the trends? What, how do you get around the algorithms, or how do you work within the algorithms? I mean, that's my job to know, right? Because how can I go and talk to someone that needs help on social media and I don't know how to, LinkedIn algorithms work? They've been putting 20 hashtags and they're wondering why it's not working or why it's not getting enough people, enough eyes on it, so to speak. Well, I can tell them to say, hey, well, the optimal number of hashtags on LinkedIn is 3. I mean, I can tell them that because I've done my research, right? So that's why I'm Russell of Hotels, right? That's why I drop these little nuggets of information So if you have any questions about hashtags or social media or staying relevant, because that's what I do, let me know. russellofhotels.com or russell@russellofhotels.com is my email. So there you go. And real quick, I use this was a not LinkedIn, an Instagram example, right? So make sure this is the new thing on Instagram. Everyone is using Reels now. Okay, Reels is a choice at the bottom. You just scroll over, but I mean, you get your regular posting, Reels, you got live, and you have what is it? Instagram TV, and then you have what's the other one? Instagram stories. Okay, so Reels is the hot thing now. Okay, because it's similar to TikTok. Okay, you know, TikTok is just blown up, right? Well, Reels is the answer to TikTok. So make sure you do your videos on Reels, and you get a lot more coverage, you get a lot more views, because I've tried it and it works. So I found out about this on what? Clubhouse. Okay. I was in one of these chat rooms, they're talking about Instagram, and they talked about, hey, are you using Reels? I'm like, no, I'm not using Reels. I don't even know what Reels is. No, you need to use Reels because you're going to get more exposure. You're going to get more people looking at it. So what I did was, I'm always trying something new, right? So I did postings of the same video I did posting, right? I posted like maybe 2 weeks ago. So those same videos. So I'll use an example. I did one of, it was the new construction at LAX, okay, for the people mover. Okay, I did one video, just a regular way of Instagram, just a regular video, and I posted it, right? I think the first one, I'd say 500 views, okay? I did it again using Reels maybe a week later. I got 2,500 views. Same content, same everything. But only thing, I use Reels versus just a regular posting. So that did it for me. So until they change their algorithms, guess what? I always told you to use video anyway, but make sure you use Reels, because that's what I'm using. Okay, so that's it. I just want to give you guys the information. So I'm ending up the show now. We're at 2:08, but that's okay. We went a couple minutes over, but this is one thing I tried to add at the end of the show. This is Russell of Hotels, the 4 P's. Purpose. Know why you're doing what you're doing. What's the purpose of you doing whatever you do? Number 2, people. Be a leader. Be inclusive. Don't exclude people. We're all in this together. 3, passion. Either you have it or you don't. Okay. Don't fake. You can't fake the funk. Okay. Either you have the passion or you don't. Number 4, perseverance. Be consistent. Continue to evolve. Don't give up and swerve when you need to. Leaders need to have more empathy during these COVID times. Be more inclusive with your teams. If you have teams that work for you, use this time to develop yourself, separate yourself from the pack, learn something new, invest in yourself, and always stay relevant. Focus on what you can control. The other stuff, why? Your brand is your culture. Leadership dictates where your company will go. And that's it for the show. Thank you so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels live hospitality show. I'm sorry I got a little carried away on some topics, but hey, you can tell that I'm passionate about it. What did I say? Either you have it or you don't. But anyway, you guys take care. Thanks so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. And you guys have a wonderful day and a great week. Bye. Come on.